You poor naive chump.
So you know how businesses, like when you get into the upper ranks, I'm talking like regional managers and like district managers, shit like that. Like even like the CEO and like the what the fuck do they call it? Uh, the headquarters. Is that the right word? Anyway,
Yeah, I think so.
but even people at the very top of companies will parrot the idea that, oh, they'll like walk into a host, let's say like at a restaurant, and the owner will come in, I used to do your job, right?
Oh yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
So what is it about that what is this paradox that comes with that phrase? Because I feel like the majority of people who say that, oh, you know, I used to have this entry level role, or I used to do what you do, and they're like trying to relate to you, right?
Yeah,
Because
but in reality, they're alienating you because then how'd you get all the way up there?
well, that's not really the point I'm trying to make, because I feel like an outlier because I have elevated myself a couple times, a few like I've been promoted a few times. I'm in a management position, and I haven't lost that perspective that I had when I was just a grunt. You know, I mean, how do you fall so far off of reality that you can say in one breath that you used to do this, and then on the next breath give out an impossible task?
Oh, like forgetting where you came from, sort of stuff.
Yeah, because how could
Okay,
you?
yeah,
How
because
can you?
I've been there too.
Cause you parade this idea that, oh, I used to do your job, and it's not that difficult. But then why are you so detached from the reality of the job now? You know what I mean? Like, cause let's say you're doing construction, and on paper it's just like it should take this long to do it, and that's that. And let's say your boss, he used to let's say you're painting, right? It should take you 2 hours to paint this room. And, you know, you start to paint the walls, and then you look in the ceiling, you notice there's a crack. So you have to call in like a finisher or someone to come in and patch the ceiling before you paint it, right? That adds time to the
Right.
job, and that's an unforeseen thing. So why does the majority of cases the boss come in, the guy who used to paint, mind you, and he's like, well, why aren't you done yet? And then even when you explain the situation, which is like, let's just
It's
disregard.
reasonable.
Yeah, it's a reasonable explanation for why you couldn't work, because you don't want to paint over something that's unfinished, because then that just speaks ill of your whole crew. But regardless of whether or not they should have noticed it before they started painting, there's just there's this huge degree of separation from expectation versus reality, and I'm just wondering how that happens, and like, is that going to happen to me if I continue on my career path? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say about that. It only happens when you actually let it happen, and it's kind of hard because, okay, I've never been like so above somebody that I could really truly forget where I've come from. But I have had promotions in the past where I could have easily abused that power. And maybe I did. That's another topic. I don't think I did anything crazy. But I definitely never forgot where I came from. I was essentially a shift manager at the pool I used to lifeguard at. And, I had responsibilities I needed to take care of. And, I had to, manage my people. But I would still take out the trash because I knew everyone else hated it. I wanted to show them, I'm a team player. I'm going to do the stuff that you don't want to do. I'm going to take out the trash. So help me help you, Um, that really the whole thing of, you know, delegating shitty work to people, you know, and creating impossible tasks and stuff, that only comes when you lose grip on reality and you just say, fuck it. You know, I'm not going to do this shit anymore. I don't care where these guys are at because I'm not there anymore. That might have sounded like a whole lot of nothing, but you get where I'm going.
No, I mean
right?
that's pretty much exactly what I feel like happens is it's just, oh, I've made it to this point. I don't have to care anymore. And then it's like at that point it's just a fun fact. Like, oh, I used to do your job. What, it's gonna show up on the fucking Trivial Pursuit night.
The company Trivial Pursuit.
What job did the CEO do when he first started with the company?
My job.
That's right. He was the janitor.
Don't you forget it. Well, anyway, that was a that's good topic there.
Yeah, so you could tell the kind of. I'm sure the audience could immediately tell the kind of day I've been having.
Yeah, yeah, you just got off work.
Yeah, I was about to say, just to remind people that I am always. I have just finished a 12-hour shift before recording this shit.
Welcome to the 12 just got off a 12-hour shift podcast.
Welcome to the highlight of my week podcast.
I'm Isaac, that's CK. You know the drill by now. Let's get into it. We've already gotten into it.
Yeah, so that was my first topic, was just the detachment from reality that seems to infect upper management.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I was just in Birmingham, Alabama for training purposes. You know, because this is a new job. I'm not new to the job, but I'm new to the company, so I needed to go get a refresher. And it was really interesting because at my old job, people would definitely tell me, you know, it would be all the higher ups worked in the same building as the training center. And we get the seat. Actually, we got the president to come down, you know, and speak to us. And he was like, yeah, I used to be on the ground with you guys. I know exactly, you know, where you guys are coming from, where things happen, you know, and all that stuff. You know, I used to get my hands dirty, and now I get my money dirty. And it's appalling to me looking back because of how much they sacrifice, how much those higher ups sacrifice, you know, our lives, you know, our livelihood for their profit, you know. But that's neither here nor there. I was more wanting to talk about Birmingham than that, but kind of relating it back to what you were talking about earlier. But yeah, no, this new company is fantastic. I had a great time at their training center. Alabama ain't worth a shit though. I'm just gonna throw that one out there right now.
All right, that's our official take on Alabama. We will not be revisiting the subject, so we'll go ahead and start the states tier list now. Alabama gets an F, guys.
Alabama 100% gets an F. The only weird thing was I brought my cousin Leon with me, and as soon as we crossed the state line, he got super attractive to me. So that was weird. We didn't hang out. We didn't hang out that week, but
okay, the fans are going to want us to rank Georgia now too.
Georgia is
also S.
C tier. Oh.
Oh. Okay. Now we're gonna have to argue a little bit.
Well, I mean, Georgia has a lot. I mean, okay, I'm gonna goofing on Alabama. Is here, you know, whatever. Alabama truly is F tier.
Anything you use to defend Georgia, I'm going to find a way to also use it to defend Alabama. I just want you to know that.
Oh yeah, no, I know. That's what I was about to say. Was because, you know, Georgia has a lot of beautiful nature spots, and I know Alabama does too. But I just felt drained as soon as I went to Alabama. Like as soon as I crossed the state line, I was like, "Oh my god, here we go." There was nothing to do.
I was gonna say it
Legitimately, there was
smells like
nothing to
nothing
do.
going on.
Really, I mean, I stayed in my hotel room all day. Actually, I found an antique store, and I bought a Game Boy Advance SP
Oh, that was that where you
Tribal
found that?
Edition. Yeah,
Dope.
and a copy of Pokemon Red. So I've been playing that because I have a void filled. I mean, I have a void here because we were playing Pokemon Black and White, and we kind of stopped for 2 weeks. I've just been itching to play that again. So, first of all, Gen 1 of Pokemon is an absolute fucking mess. Absolutely fucking mess.
Oh, it's so unhinged.
Like, okay, so not even talking about like, oh, Lavender Town, they talk about death.
Oh, I don't care
but
about
like,
the lore. I'm just talking about like just the
yeah,
dialogue and the basic premise and the way that they have encounters.
I mean, yeah, that too, but also just like game mechanics. Like, I was fighting with a Pidgeotto with an Onix, and obviously the Pidgeotto was faster than me, and I was at like my Onix was at 20 health, and the Pidgeotto was like half health, and then all of a sudden the speed stats swapped, and I killed it because the speed stats swapped out of nowhere. Like that shouldn't happen. The speed stat shouldn't change when I'm less health than the Pidgeotto over there.
There had to be some mechanic you weren't aware of in play.
No, that's the thing, is that there's so much of that shit that doesn't make sense because it doesn't tell you what's going on. And then other stuff doesn't make sense either. Like I'm used to, playing more modern Pokemon games where like the type matchups are, the same. I'm over here trying to fight a normal type Pokemon with fighting type moves, and then it doesn't say anything. They weren't super effective like I thought they were going to be.
Oh yeah, some of that stuff was later additions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that like Gen 1 was just getting their footing, and I'm used to Pokemon already having their footing.
I mean, Pokemon. Yeah, let's not rehash the Pokemon debate. Everyone knows it fucking sucks nowadays.
Yes. Let's slash that. But yeah, no, I barely had anything to do. Like there was a Subway like down the street from where I was at, and this is what I wanted to bring this up. Have you been in a Subway in the past like 2 years?
Yeah, yeah, I have. Not
Have
to
you
eat
noticed that
there.
they're like covering? But have you noticed that they're covering their meat now?
No.
Like they don't let you see it. It's like a metal thing that now they won't let you see.
Well,
the
yeah,
meat.
they have always used like the cafeteria setup. So I'm assuming they just have little metal lids on them now.
Yeah, but they do it specifically so that you can't see the meat. Like you have the sneeze guard, and then you have the metal lid, but it's open to the person getting the meat, obviously, but it's all blocked off. You can see the vegetables, you just can't see the meat.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I'm about to go all Dale Gribble on this shit.
I I feel so jaded towards conspiracies because it's like on one hand, I absolutely would believe in the maliciousness of a company to take advantage of us and like let's just say for example they lowered the quality of their meat or whatever, and
That's what
so
I'm thinking.
that's why they did it. But I could also just argue that it's probably a little bit more hygienic to cover up the meat, also help it retain moisture because vegetables don't have as much of an issue retaining moisture because a lot of those vegetables
Right.
are immersed in a liquid.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is that they don't close the lid when they're done. It's just there. It's just stationary. It might as well just be a hood.
Are you
Because
saying
they're open when you walk in. I would understand covering the meat like at night or like when you're done or there's nobody in there. but they don't cover it. They just block it from view.
There's one near where I work. I'll have to take a look, see what you're talking about.
Do some investigating for me.
We're gonna have a Subway follow-up next episode.
Speaking of next episode, if you're a loyal to all 4 of our loyal Spotify listeners, you should be getting a double feature when this one comes out, because dumbass over here forgot that he set a YouTube premiere and then didn't do anything with the podcast on Spotify. So it's been on YouTube for about a week now.
Uh-oh. I don't know why you wouldn't just upload it now.
Because I'll just do it when I'm done with this one. They'll get a double feature.
Fair enough. So I know we've talked a lot about some of the other projects we have going on. Mostly me, but we're still working on ghost stories and trying to figure out some more YouTube stuff that isn't just podcast related. But I have, work has been kicking my ass. I've given it more time to work than anything else here lately. But I'm really worried about meeting my goal for getting Grasp out.
Right.
And I don't want to say now that I don't think I'm going to make it. But that's kind of where my head's at. And I'm trying not to let that just be like cemented in my head to the point where I stop caring.
Well, everyone kind of stumbles, It's never going to be perfect from start to finish.
I just hate making up what feels like making up excuses for what could have easily been achieved. I mean, in reality, I set a goal for myself and I was making good progress, and I just didn't expect work to have me at a point where I wasn't able to spend as much time on Grasp as I wanted.
Well, that's the thing, it's your thing, right? It's your project. You get to decide when you work on it or not. And I know you want to work on it as much as you want, or as much as you can, but sometimes you just need to take a break. Even when you feel like you've been taking a break from it, you need to take an actual break. A lot of people that do creative things like that, they forget that, them working on their project isn't a break. Even if they enjoy it, working on your project isn't a break. And going to work isn't a break. And doing things you're supposed to do isn't a break. You have to take a legit break where you're not doing anything, unless it's for pure pleasure.
Yeah, I took a small break this weekend, but I'm definitely dedicated to using more of my time this week and this weekend to try and get it. I think I've settled on a page count, and I'm not like everything is the only thing that's really set in stone is the story that I've outlined. Everything else is like what feels right. Because to make media, you got to consume media. Like that's something a lot of people say. Like if you want to make a certain genre of music, you got to listen to that genre of music.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think that necessarily is 100% accurate. But if you're trying to learn something, definitely.
Like if this is like your first time, yeah, I would agree with that. Like if you're gonna write a song, you would want to listen to that genre, as much as you can, especially starting out. That gets you inspired too. You can take inspiration from other things.
I'm shooting for about 21 pages. Probably a little bit longer to flesh out, because the pilot usually is longer, but I'm shooting for about 21 pages a chapter.
I think that's a good goal right there. I've been trying to I haven't done a lot, But I've definitely so I've been playing Garter Phone recently, which you should too. Like it's more of a party game or like a multiplayer game
Oh,
than a single player.
is it? It's like the that game where you can like draw on your phone and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, you're basically playing telephone with drawings. People add on to drawings or like you create an animation, you know.
I used to play it with Michael and his brother and that whole group.
Yeah, it's really fun. So I found a Discord group that I've been not often, like it's been like maybe 3 times total. But, you know, I've been trying to I've always been I've always been a doodler. Like I like to draw things, but I'm not good at it. So I'm using Garter phone or Garter telephone. I don't know, whatever. I've been using that to kind of try to practice a little bit, get good hands. I've been using that tablet that I bought, that Wacom tablet or whatever,
Oh yeah, yeah.
to try to help practice, some illustration.
When
Because I can't rely on you. I'm just kidding.
sorry, brother.
No, you got your own shit going on. I'm just kidding.
When I was playing with Michael, I would bust out my drawing pad that actually has like a functioning monitor. I don't know if yours is just the slate or if yours has a
No,
screen.
yeah, it's just a slate. I'm not good enough for a screen. I think I think you gave me the advice to not get a fancy one to start out because you never know if it's gonna work out.
I think like for me, there was a really big learning curve with looking, right?
Yeah, because you want to look down at what you're actually doing, but it's up on the screen.
And once I got a screen, I really like the drawing tablet that I have. I mean, granted, I mostly use an iPad now, but still,
iPad.
yeah. But I would bust out the drawing pad for whenever we would play that. So sometimes I would do like the normal stickman drawings everyone else would do, and then just sprinkle in like a soy jack every once in a while or something like that.
Yeah, I really like that game. Honestly, it's fun when you're with the right people.
I think playing with randoms too has the potential to be more fun sustainably because a lot of the time, like any party game where you can just submit whatever you want, it just turns up into being nothing but inside jokes.
Inside jokes. Yeah. That's the main problem with a lot of Jackbox games.
Yeah, they just become like, and then so you'll go to a party, and you'll be like one of the newer people to the group, and it's just like Tom's football helmet. And you're like, what the everyone's laughing their ass off, and you're just like, the fuck does that mean?
And then they have to sit there and explain it to you.
And then like they explain it to you. It's like there's one time Tom drank a beer out of a football helmet, and he was so drunk, man, he passed out. Wow, that's really funny. Yeah, that's like the whole interaction. That sounds really targeted. I don't know.
We don't know a Tom.
I don't know a Tom or anyone who I think maybe Michael has possessed
we don't know
a football
anyone.
helmet.
I know. I was about to say we don't know a single person that owns a football helmet.
I have to assume anything sports related is Michael.
Yeah, I agree. The closest thing I have is F1 memorabilia, which really isn't anything like motorsports stuff, and maybe Cubs baseball. Which, okay, actually, this is funny. So, Kelly's dad, my father-in-law, he's like from New York, so obviously he's a Yankees fan because I think it's illegal to be in New York and not be a Yankees fan. And his so my Kelly's sister married someone who doesn't like the Yankees. I don't remember what his team was. Dang. I don't remember. But anyway, it was a team that he didn't approve of. So he made him change to the Yankees in order to like get his blessing to marry her.
Damn, imagine caring that much.
This isn't going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere, but basically he knew my dad was a Cubs fan, so that means I'm a Cubs fan. That's just how it happens. And he basically said he didn't give me the same. Long story short, he didn't give me the same parameters, and I make fun of my brother-in-law for that. Yeah, that really did not go anywhere. That might get cut out. That was nothing.
That's
that
funny.
was just this one time. My father-in-law liked a baseball team, and then my brother-in-law liked another baseball team. That was the story.
It was a story of all time.
It was the story of all time.
Well, I'm going to talk about something important. So,
couldn't be more important than that, but okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure
try.
porn isn't more important
try.
than that?
You can try.
Okay. How often do you go to adult websites?
Ooh, not often enough, brother.
Not often enough meaning you should do it more, or not as much as you'd like, or I mean
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't that much. I'll peruse every once in a while. Not much.
I pretty much stopped using it mostly for like personal use. Like there'll be sometimes where like you just you want to get one out and that's just what you want to do. But
It's definitely once a month at least for me to actually look. I'm not necessarily doing anything about it, but definitely just kind of take a look, take a gander.
I find myself looking at it more for like drawing because I've been
for research.
Yeah, so that I've actually been getting back into it a lot just to practice gesture drawing.
Honestly, that's like a really good way to do it because a lot of the time you're not bound by clothes.
I mean, a lot of the time I'm just drawing like a variation of the same pose like 50 different times, but
right.
that's kind of the practice I need. Not necessarily for sex. It's just if you're gonna do something 100 times, it may as well be something you like, right?
Yeah.
I haven't done it recently. Like I haven't done anything super creative in the last like at least a week.
I definitely haven't since the last time we recorded. Because the last time I recorded, we went to Birmingham. And then I've been back working since then.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for your next porn update. We'll let you know next time we watch it, okay? The point of me bringing it up,
post links.
not just because I'm like a gooner or anything, but if you go on a lot of adult websites now, like even some of the niche ones that I go to find
degeneracy.
Well, I mean, I have like hentai websites, like for the translated comic books.
For the uninitiated, hentai is anime porn.
I don't think there's a single person who's not gonna know what that is.
I think there's a single person that may not know what it is.
No, but I saw it on the hub because I just happened to have a tab open. So I looked up to see what degeneracy I was looking at, right? And there's just this big banner across the top of the page talking about the age verification that's coming.
Oh yeah. I have seen that.
And that's really what I wanted to talk about.
I get it. I understand why you do it, but also at the same time, I'm not gonna send you my ID for that.
Nope. I mean, I guess I just won't look at porn.
I'll just go on Reddit. Yeah, exactly.
Eh,
That was my thought process. I did see it. I have seen that recently, and I was just like, then I won't watch it. I guess I won't take a look.
Yeah, that's literally the long and short of my thought process there. Like, oh, if I can't, like, if it's not easily accessible, then I'm just not going to access it.
Well, that's our porn update.
I have a VPN, but if I don't know, there's something. I feel like if you have to go through that many hoops to get your fix, like your porn fix, if it's that bad,
Then you have an addiction.
Well, yeah, you probably should self-reflect if you're willing to jump through all those hoops. Like, if I can't
Brother,
Google
you can't even
boobs,
use your imagination.
like, literally, if I can't Google boobs and see boobs, then I'm done. That's it.
I'm sure I've told this story on either here or the first podcast we had, but did I ever tell you about my first experience trying to look at porn?
Yes, you've told this story a couple of times. Not that I remember
It's
it.
time for one more time.
Yeah, but I know you.
One more time.
I know you told it.
So this was, I want to say, definitely 2010s. I was sitting at the family computer. Big mistake. I was sitting at the family computer that didn't have a really good connection, and it ran pretty slow. I Googled boobs into google.com, and I clicked on the first link I saw, and I was like, here we go. And it was like, I guess it was an image. Yeah, it was just an image right away. And it was loading bottom to top for some reason. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I was just sitting there with so much anticipation, ready to see boobs for the first time. Like this little chubby kid sitting at the desktop waiting. And it was loading, and you could see her belly. And then you saw the underside of her boobs, and then right when it finished loading, it finished loading all at once, and it was just under boob, and her shirt kind of pulled up, there wasn't even any nipples or anything. That was the most disappointing moment of my life.
No, it was not.
At that
time, you were so excited to see some side boob. What were you, fucking 12?
No, I was so upset. I had to have been 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that age range. I was so upset. You have no idea. Because there was nothing. I've seen a side boob on TV, that happened all the time. But I was ready to see everything. And it was just some fucking under boob.
Damn.
Yeah, don't even get me started on talking about me trying to look at porn on the family computer, because that's a journey. Maybe on the next porn update.
Yeah, maybe we'll tell more embarrassing and revealing stories from our past, but not this time.
If we just get one more viewer.
Oh, that's something. Go ahead. I wouldn't say. Mine's about to change the topic entirely.
Oh, mine was kind of going to do that too. So
okay,
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I thought it would be a pretty cool idea to take viewer suggestions for topics. If you notice, we can start that trend now, and it probably won't happen for a little bit, but we'll see.
Here's the thing, brother. We have gotten on all of our podcasts across all 3 platforms it's on. We get a maximum of 2 comments, and it's from people who barely watched 10 minutes in.
Oh, is it bot comments?
I don't think we're getting any. We're not getting anything.
Oh well, we'll get there.
Yet. We'll get there. I'll say this. We'll start. We'll say it now. If a viewer has an idea for us, we may consider
Oh yeah,
it,
I mean, I don't care.
but you gotta comment it.
Yeah, just if you got something you want us to check out, like literally anything. This is a nothing show.
Spotify has comments. Spotify has comments to all four of you. To all four of you that listen to us on Spotify.
The pause sent me. I'm sorry. It's true though. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even.
That's why we're silent. We're waiting for you to comment. You specifically.
Oh, I was talking about this being like a nothing show. It's a Dude Bro podcast.
Oh, this is a nothing show.
We know what we are.
Yeah, just if we had a desk right now, one of us would have a backwards hat.
It's not me.
Non-negotiable.
The unspoken third guy.
Yeah. No, that's just Michael.
Wait,
We just need
no, but
Michael
he
back
would
on.
though.
I know he would.
Oh man, I tried to get John, but he's too busy playing Marvel Rivals.
Hey, I'd accept him.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's gotten I formatted this podcast as if this was my podcast and you were just a guest, but I stopped putting you in the title because you're just in every episode. You're the prerequisite.
it's still your podcast.
It is, but I'm saying you're the prerequisite for it. So I stopped putting you in the title. It's not featuring Ghost anymore. It's just CK's here, guys. Just Isaac and CK
Hello.
Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get Michael back on. I was gonna ask him recently, but then I didn't.
I don't know.
And that's the end of that story. That was a pretty good story, wasn't it,
I
folks? I'm crushing it
I
today.
think if we had him on, I don't know if that's the kind of content we want to produce. I don't know if we want to put that energy back out into the world. All the love to Michael. But can we please send some love to Michael? I don't care if you're
let's send
hearing
some
this
love to Michael.
in
2050, which is a long shot.
send some love his way. Man is going through it.
I'm sending love to
Yeah.
Michael. What are you doing?
I'm making love to Michael.
Oh God. All right, moving on.
I couldn't let you one up me like that.
Was your dad ever, like, when you were growing up, was he like super anal about you getting the Wi-Fi password and putting stuff on Wi-Fi?
No.
I don't think you had a lot of opportunities for that, but I know you had a laptop.
Uh-huh. I just knew the Wi-Fi password though.
But like, if he had found out about it, would he have been upset that you had Wi-Fi?
No.
Like, why'd you put that on the Wi-Fi?
No.
Because I only bring this up because, I've been playing with my Game Boy recently, and I've been catching some pretty cool Pokemon, and I wanted to figure out the process of getting because it's possible to get a Pokemon from Pokemon Red to Pokemon Home. The Pokemon Bank, where all your
Yes.
past Pokemon
yes,
are.
I didn't remember. Didn't it require like a DSi, or no? A DSi didn't even have the GBA slot anymore. It required a DS, didn't it?
Yeah, you needed a DS to transfer to one of the
And
cartridge
then you needed
games.
a DSi.
And then the cartridge games to, I think, 3DS, because that's
Oh,
what Pokemon
yeah.
Home was. But anyway, basically, I was thinking about it because I think you do need to connect your system to Wi-Fi, and I don't know if that's possible anymore. But
It
either way,
is.
the point
Even
of
if
this
Nintendo
was,
doesn't have access.
yeah. Okay. But I just know my dad, when I first got DSi, he was really anal about me having the Wi-Fi password. Like, he was like, I don't want that. I don't want them on my Wi-Fi, But now, thinking about that, their fucking dehumidifier is on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like everything that we own is on the Wi-Fi for some
I
reason.
in my mind, just knowing what little I know about your dad and his background, I would be I would not be surprised if he assumed that it was some kind of Chinese spyware, even though it's a Japanese piece of hardware.
Well, here's the thing. When the Wi-Fi age was really starting to boom, he was. I mean, your dad was too, but my dad was in the military as a linguist. So I'm pretty sure he was like trained to be suspicious of Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi connections.
Yeah, and you should be, but
So I'm sure that's where it
but
came
not from personal
Oh yeah, you
devices.
should be 100%. Right. Yeah. No. I think what happened was the Wi-Fi scare was taken too far in that direction, and my dad was just like, nothing can be on the Wi-Fi ever. I mean, this is the same man who had a flip phone, like the same flip phone for 10 years until it literally fell apart at the hinges.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
then
like your dad.
he got his first iPhone, and then it was all over because now all he does is play Clash of Clans on the couch while my mom's trying to talk to him.
Now, if that ain't the life, that's not too far off from what I do. I played, um, like, like the Souls game while Bailey tells me about her whatever YouTube video or Instagram reel she saw last. I'm just kidding. No, actually, I spend a lot of time playing games with her now. We started playing Ultimate Chicken Horse. So if any of you know what that is, um, at first it was like her trying to figure out how to play platformer games because that's what it is at its core. And then once she kind of figured out how the platforming and everything works and how to build a little course, it just became a pissing match between the two of us to see who could fuck the other person over. So like I will say that I was really like harnessing most of that energy the whole time, where she would place a trap and I would either put a block over it or I would just blow it up or something like that. But it was a first time in a while that there had been some like real level of competitiveness between us in a game that didn't feel one-sided or kind of like bullying. It was nice.
I like that game. I think we've played it before.
I don't know that we have. I think
I know I've
we
played
played
it before.
Duck Game, which I got
Yes.
that as well. Fucking love that game. It's so simple, but it's so fun to play, especially with a group where it just gets really stupid and chaotic. That's any game though.
Yeah.
I got us Overcooked 2 to play. We just haven't started it yet.
Kelly and I have been watching King of the Hill. One of my favorite shows of all
I
time.
have been kind of rewatching South Park.
South Park's all right. I really enjoyed South Park, but what it is now, it's like what I was talking about like a couple episodes ago about like these shows that used to have like 20 episodes a season, and now you get 10 episodes every 2 years out of them.
That it's topical because they just announced that they're delaying season 27.
Yeah,
I will say
I did know that.
these last couple of years of South Park have been really good.
Yeah, you know what? I'll agree with that. After they tried making a season wide story, they did a pretty good job bringing it back to their roots.
Yeah, I think the show works better in a loosely episodic format. I think when they try and that loose continuity. Not that the overarching plot lines aren't fun, but I mean, we could talk about South Park forever, but lots of
Yeah.
people don't like the Tegrity Farms bit.
I thought it was okay, but I feel like they took it too far.
And that's why they keep doing it though, is because it's funny to them.
Hey, that all more power to them. Honestly, I would much prefer them do something because they like it than get rid of something because someone else didn't. Because that's the whole point, right? Is to put your art out there and do things
Yeah,
that
I
you
mean,
like.
even say what you will about South Park, but you got to give it to Matt and Trey to really just sticking to what they believe in and just fucking doing a thing.
Exactly. I mean, that's honestly that's my philosophy for pretty much everything I do, entertainment wise. Is if I think it's funny, then it goes in. You know, that's why I edit these podcasts the way I do, because I find it. I'm sure people who listen to it have noticed. I take a lot of inspiration from the way Distractable edits their podcasts with a lot of sound effects, and I find it really funny when a well placed sound effect is where it is, and if I find it funny, I'll put it in the episode.
You're
You
in
know,
a
and I'm not gonna take it out because somebody is like, I don't think that's funny. And I was like, well, then this isn't the podcast for you, my man.
yeah. No, that's definitely the way to do it. I think when you pander and you muddle down your work, then it just if eventually you burn out because you're not making what you want to make.
Exactly.
That's why, like, I'm so ready to get this fucking. I'm ready to get this first chapter grasp out and just let it simmer. Let it like let's just see what happens. Right? Do people like it?
Right.
And then I can just focus on the Pokemon videos, getting ghost stories up and going. Because there's a good chance that it still won't be even outlined by the time this episode comes out. Just because like grasp is the number one.
That's how it gotta be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can give you my time, but I mean, this is about as much as I can do.
Hey, I appreciate it either way. I
But
just like.
I mean,
I mean, this
I
is a
wouldn't
good
give
way
this
for
up.
us to catch up. You know, we don't talk as much as we should.
I wouldn't give this up for anything. Like I said, this is genuinely like one of the highlights of my week, if not the highlight of my week. Sometimes.
That makes me happy to hear. See, I'm gonna keep doing this whether it gets popular or not, because this is turning into it's turning into a sort of video diary or audio diary for our lives. You know, we can go back and pinpoint exactly when we were talking about certain things, like, oh, this is when, you know, oh, this is when, this is right after Isaac got married, or this is like days before Grasp officially came out, or, you know, stuff like that. I mean, we'll get viewers eventually. I'm not worried about that. And if we don't, who cares? It's not, I mean, while I'm putting this out for people to listen to, it's for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's if someone comes along the way and they like us and they stick around and we get a community that way. That's what I want. I don't know, man. I don't want to be famous. Not like that.
I just want, it would be perfect to me if we had just enough people that we could viably, you know, pay bills doing this.
Yeah, I
If we could honestly just pay a couple of bills doing this, I'd be happy. I'd be perfectly content.
but you know what? If we don't make a dime,
I won't be upset about it.
it's still fun to do. And that's like, I think if you guys out there, if you want to make something and you're worried about, well, how can I make it profitable? If it's not, like, let's just take a step back for a second. If it's not a product that the sole purpose is to sell and make money, then just fucking do it, right? If you have an idea for, like, if you want to make skits, just do it. If they're bad at first, just follow through with your vision and get as close to it as you possibly can. If the vision is there and you enjoy doing it, you will get that support.
The cash shouldn't be the end goal. It should just be a byproduct or a happy coincidence.
Yeah. If you put all your art and all your effort into how much it's monetarily worth, you will prevent yourself from achieving a lot, because there's a lot of things that initially feel worthless, but you can't determine whether or not you will be successful based solely off the potential prospect.
Jeez, what is this? The serious episode?
I don't know, man. I'm deep in my head about this shit, and I've come to terms with it. I have never cared about Grasp making money. The only thing that matters to me is that, like, I own it and I get to tell the story.
And you get to come out with merch.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Merch.
Oh, I just had an idea for a funny bit.
Okay.
Let's sell merch.
That would be funny.
I don't know. I said let's sell merch for either for a made up podcast that we always talk about but never doesn't actually exist, or like something along those lines. Like we make merch for some made up product that doesn't actually exist.
Okay, funny idea. I putting that in the mailbox. But that makes me think of, like, I really love in-universe merchandise. Like, I'd rather wear something like, I'd rather wear a Duff Beer or a Krusty Burger shirt than a The Simpsons shirt, if that makes sense. Like, I would love to wear something. I love merch that a character in what I'm buying merch for would wear, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So if I had to come up with an example, like, you wouldn't want a hoodie or something with one of the Grasp characters on it. You would want like a hoodie or a piece of clothing that they would actually wear themselves.
Yeah, like if you're, I don't know if you have brand, like I've seen you do your process, but like if you
the
have,
first
like,
thing that comes to mind is the company they Grasp, the company that like the fucking titular piece of the show, the company that the two main characters run has a work uniform. So I would just like release merch in the style of their work uniform.
Yeah, something like that would be perfect. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that would wear just like a group shot of all the characters. But like,
But even I think that's kind of lame.
Yeah, it I don't know. It
seems low effort, but not like. Yeah. If that were the case, like, I don't know. I kind of love designing clothes. I think you'll see that in Grasp, is I just love like designing intricate weapons and clothes. So just thinking about potential merch gets me kind of excited.
Do you want one more funny anecdote before we end this super serious episode of podcast?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the day before I left for Birmingham, Kelly, I don't remember where we were going, but we were driving, and then when we got home, I was in the passenger seat, and I was being silly, and I closed the door with my butt, and I made a dent. I dented her door with my ass. I feel really bad. And I was like, I'll pull it out. I'm sorry. And she was like, no, it's fine. It's a good memory. But I feel bad because I would be upset if I had dented my car door. I would have been really upset. So she's being very nice to me. But I didn't know that my ass had that much power. Or in conjunction with that, I didn't know that car doors were that weak that it could get dented by an ass.
That's actually really funny.
So yeah, that's gonna be there forever unless it randomly pops back out one day, which I don't think it will.
I will end with an ass anecdote of my own, but
I love hearing
I
about your
am
ass.
I'm constantly knocking shit over every time I walk by shit, man.
God, what are you,
I'm
a
not
second
even
grade teacher?
I'm not even whoa. I'm not even trying to be funny. But like at work, like I told you that the warehouse is a little crowded right now. I mean, I'm having to wedge myself into some precarious situations, and it is just my fucking dump truck getting caught on everything. I have actually knocked over so much shit with my ass.
Oh man, listen,
Oh,
this is gonna sound gay as hell, and it's July 3rd, so I'm not allowed to be gay anymore. But you got a really nice ass. I ain't even gonna lie.
no, Bailey listens to this. Don't give her fuel.
Nah, you got a fucking badonkadonk down there.
Dude, no, I've never told. I don't think I've ever shared this story publicly. But she thought that like me and Michael were secretly a thing for a period of time.
I can understand that. Michael, go on.
No, that's it. Great. Um, so well, you know what this means, right?
No.
It means that you are like we're only going to get like upper 2/3 whenever we do skits. We're not getting full body shots of me. I'm not allowing it at this point.
Only on the Patreon.
Only on the Patreon.
Oh god. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's end it with this. I think I'm the only one of your friends that hasn't seen you naked.
No, I don't think Michael's seen me naked.
No, Michael's seen you naked. We've had this conversation before.
I don't remember this.
Well, you weren't awake for it.
I saw that coming. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get it out your system.
No, let's just end it now.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what racing is about.